A lot of you are guessing how many days Joe Biden took for vacation. A texter says, hey, Joey, thanks for filling in for the Happy Warrior. And just a guess, Biden took 250 days of vacation. Another texter says 583 days. Another texter says Joe took off, let's see, I'm going to guess 365 days that Joe Biden took off for vacation. Another texter says 200. Another texter, 1,459 days. Well, not quite that many. The New York Post reporting over the weekend that Joe Biden took 577 days during his 4-year term. Now, I realize Biden, he's a thing of the past. We have moved on, but I just couldn't resist. I mean, think about this. 577 days over a 4-year period. Basically, he was out over a year of his presidency. Now, you could look at that as good news, because that was a year we didn't have Joe doing something he probably shouldn't have been doing. The other way to look at it, though, is that's over a year where he was absent, just letting whoever was pulling the strings in the White House run loose. But think about it this way. How many days of vacation do you get every year? I looked it up. On average, Americans get 11 paid vacation days per year. You'd have to work 52 years to rack up as much time as Joe Biden took off. 52 years you'd have to work to earn the 577 days. I mean, it's just staggering when you think about it. Compared to other presidents, George H.W. Bush, for example, spent 37% of his presidency, 543 of the 1,461 days away from the White House. So he was close. Trump, in his first term, took 26% of his first term away. That was 381 days. Ronald Reagan, Barack Obama, vacation for just 11% of their first two-term presidencies. George W. Bush spent 1,020 days out of, now he served 2 terms, remember, out of 2,922 days. So that was 35% versus Joe Biden's 39%. Look, it's a lot of days any way you look at it. A lot of vacation time. Of course, you know, what I always look back on is that photo that is used quite often when Joe Biden was at the beach, of him just clearly out of it, just asleep on the beach when the world was falling apart. No wonder Joe Biden didn't get much done. 800-655-6453. Let's go to the phones. Hank is in Virginia. Welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show, Hank.
Thank you for taking my call. You know,
sure. Do you get as much vacation time as Joe Biden did?
No, none of us do, and that's part of the point I'm getting ready to make. I watch all this wasteful spending, and while the average American knew it was a lot of waste, we had no concept. But the thing that I'm taking away this applies to men and women, obviously, because we all did it, we are all doing it. But especially for men, how many men out there worked, took extra jobs, took side jobs, got all the overtime they could get to pay their taxes, thereby then allowing what was left to feed their family? When I'm watching, I mean, my children are grown, they're adults now, but there was a lot of things I missed as a father.
Yeah.
And I missed it because I was working.
Yeah.
How many of us men lost, I don't care, you can't pay us back. You can't pay a man back for what he will never see. And we paid all that to be honest, tax-paying citizens. And then we're sitting back here today in our 60s, and we're looking back thinking, my God, this is the sacrifice. This is what I was being a good patriot and sacrificing time from my wife, from my family, time I will never get back, moments I can never have. You know, that in and of itself, I mean, the money, the monetary part of it is bad enough, but it's almost like a certain amount of grief, a death. You're grieving a life that you should have had that you didn't get because of all this wasteful spending.
Yep. It kind of makes me angry to think about it, and I don't like to be angry, but I look at the list of things that we're learning from the work that Elon Musk and Doge is doing, and as you said, the waste, knowing that I had to work hard to earn money, to pay taxes, for it just to be thrown away like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even if we were solvent, you could print money. Hand me money now. What's it going to get me? I can't get those moments back. I never will. And you're right. It's very hard to not stay angry.
Yep. Hey, Hank, appreciate your phone call. Appreciate you listening as well. 800-655-6453. One line open. We'll go to Greg, who is in Charlotte. Welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Hope you are.
In following, I was 4 years ago. In following what the previous caller had said, sir, frankly, I'm a combat vet, and the Biden administration frankly ruined my career. And I'm still angry, and I imagine a lot of people are. If we do the things they did, I'm not going to be happy until I see these people have the same situation as Bannon and Navarro. I want to see them in orange jumpsuits. I want to see them in shackles in a court of law, answering for these where they can't lie or deceive anybody anymore.
Yeah, and it's hard not to be angry, isn't it, Greg? And thank you for your service, because they did things to us. They took time away from us, and when you talk about inflation and some of the prices that we're having to pay for products right now, I know that President Trump, his economic policies are going to improve things. But let's just face it. Let's be honest, Greg. There are some things that the prices are never going to come back to what they were pre-Biden. And we're going to have to continue paying that for sure. Hey, Greg, appreciate your phone call. Again, appreciate your service. 800-655-6453. Every day there's a new revelation of just wasteful spending. And you read some of these and you think somebody's making this up. This can't be real. The Department of Government Efficiency, Doge's X account, posted over the weekend, and President Trump reposted some of the latest examples. $10 million, and these have all been canceled, by the way. This is a list of some of the government contracts that Doge canceled last week. So $10 million for Mozambique, I don't even know where that is, voluntary medical male circumcision. $9.7 million for UC Berkeley to develop a cohort of Cambodian youth with enterprise-driven skills. I don't even know what that means. $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia. Do you care about strengthening independent voices in Cambodia? I mean, who comes up with this stuff? $32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center. Have no idea what that is. $32 million of our money sent to Prague. $40 million for Gender Equality and Women Empowerment Hub. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. Again, it's hard not to be angry when you read this type of thing. $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova, and $21 million for voter turnout in India. Now, look, I don't care about voter turnout in India. Do you? Does anyone listening to my voice today care about voter turnout in India? If you do, Teresa will put you at the front of the list. I'd love to hear about this. 800-655-MIKE, 6453. Does this make you a little bit angry? $29 million to strengthening the political landscape in Bangladesh. $20 million for fiscal federalism in Nepal. Another $19 million for biodiversity conversation in Nepal. All right, I'm going to take a deep breath. Let's do a breathing exercise together here. I'm Joey Hudson, in for Mike on Washington's birthday.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.